Which District 7 school is a best kept secret and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. Trini Garza Early College High School. That school is amazing. They have 85% low-income students, but the test scores, the number of students passing the AP test, really off the charts. They're really on par with any of the top magnet schools that you have heard of.
Why is voter turnout so low for DISD elections?
I think people don't understand how important the school board elections actually are. You know, if you think about why is the school district important? A lot of people say, I don't have my kids in the district, or I don't have any kids at all. But the truth is it affects us in every way, in our quality of life, the economy, the crime rate, the amount of tax dollars that you pay for social services and criminal justice.
How many school board meetings have you attended, and what have you learned from them about being an effective board member?
I've been probably 8 or so over the last year, and I've watched the others online. What I've learned from them is that it's important to pay attention to the people who show up to the board meeting because they do have something to say. I have learned that a lot of what happens on the board happens behind the scenes, so that there's discussion in the board meeting, but there's a lot of thinking and I guess consensus building that happens behind the scenes. I've also learned that it's important for board members to work together to build consensus when there is a difference of opinion amongst the board members. I think that can be a good thing because it helps to point out unintended consequences, but when board members can't agree, they just simply can't find that middle ground, then I think it really holds the district back.
What has been your greatest contribution to Dallas ISD so far?
You know, I've been a parent for the last 14 years. I've been very active as a volunteer, been involved with the PTA, and I think that it's interesting. I think the most important role that I've held on the PTA board has been heading up the nominating committee, because my job was to go out and find other parents and invite them to become involved in their child's school to bring their skills and talents to help move the school forward.
If you were hired today to run DISD, what's the first thing you would do?
So I'm not running for superintendent, we'll just make that clear, but if I were, one of the most important things I would focus on is retention. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of my background. I have an experience leading change in large organizations, and so my job has been, you're in charge of this business and it's struggling and you need to get it turned around in a very short amount of time, typically 1 year or so. And so I know something about what the superintendent is going through here, but I also know that one of the most important things is your people. In the last 3 years, we've lost almost 2/3 of our teachers and 60% of our principals. That amount of turnover is really crippling for any organization, so I think that's the number one thing that we have to address.
What will happen to DISD if you aren't elected?
It'll go into the toilet. Just kidding. The district will obviously move along. It's one thing I've learned in working in several different organizations is that the big organizations tend to move along with or without certain individuals in the organization. The difference is how fast will we move, and will we really see the kind of improvement that I think our parents and our teachers and community members are really desperate for in a relatively short amount of time, or will it take decades?